Hey, Rick McBride here with your Property Masters in 5 minutes of free time. Today, we're fortunate enough to be having a closing. One of our more challenging ones, but we are having a closing. So, what I wanted to go over for you was what you should expect at a closing. People are like, oh God, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. But it's really not all that complicated. All the complicated stuff happens before the closing. The ups and downs, the highs and lows. So you're finally got to the day. You're finally here. It's finally closing. We've doubted if we're going to get here. We've had to overcome challenges. We've had all kinds of things happen between the time we signed the contract and now closing. But today is finally the day. Stuff's on the truck. You're ready to go. You cannot wait. It's one of the most exciting days of your life. So what happens now? Well, for the buyer, at least 3 days before the closing, you're going to receive what's called the closing disclosure. What that is it's going to disclose all costs that you have for this closing and let you know the amount of money that you will need to bring to closing. Don't do anything at this time. That's just for your review. Of course, there's issues with it. We need to address them. But typically there's not, because all these costs have been disclosed to you in advance, and this is just a formality. But obviously we're going to look over that pretty closely. The day before closing, you're going to receive an ALTA, A-L-T-A, ALTA Closing Statement. This is a replacement for your old timers for what used to be the HUD one. It's now called the ALTA Closing Statement from the Housing and Urban Development. You're going to receive that. The ALTA will again show all of the costs and detail all of your costs, and it will also identify your bottom line. This is the amount that you will need to bring to closing. How do you bring it to closing? Typically, the title company sends you a wire transfer instructions from their bank, and you take them to the bank along with the amount, of course, and you simply tell the bank, give them the piece of paper and tell them to wire this much money to the title company's escrow account. This is usually a substantial sum of money, so the only real way to transfer it is via wire transfer. Your bank will typically charge you $15-20 to do that transfer, but it is the safest and most economical way to do it. The night before closing, or a few hours before closing, we will do what's called the final walkthrough. In the final walkthrough, you're going to walk through the property to make sure that it's in the condition it was when you bought it. Make sure that they didn't take any fixtures, that the refrigerator that you're supposed to expect in there is there, if it was supposed to be there, that they didn't take the dishwasher, that type of thing. Make sure also that no damage has occurred to the property. Typically, this is not a problem. This is usually a pretty smooth, quick process. But if something has happened, then we need to address it at that time with the sellers. Finally, we all get in the car and head over to the title company, and you sit down at the closing table and you sign a whole huge stack of papers depending on your loan. Usually it's about that thick. Averages somewhere between 70 to 110 pieces of paper that you sign that all basically say the same thing. But that's what you have to do. These papers come from your lender. They are provided to the title company, and once signed and fully funded, once signed, the title company will take them and send them off to the lender, and the lender will issue what's called a funding number. And once you get a funding number, the keys are given to you and the place is yours. By the way, you do own the property on the day of closing. So make sure, obviously you have to get your loan, but all your insurance is in place and all that good stuff. But you do own that property on the day of closing, so make sure that you have your utilities up and running as well on that day in your name. The seller has much less to do on closing day. Obviously, they've cleared the place out. They're ready to turn over title to the new buyers. The sellers have a few papers to sign, not much, a couple disclosures, and the main thing that they sign is the deed that conveys the property to you. The deed conveys the title of the property to the buyer. Once signed, the bank issues a funding number. The seller can walk out with a check or bring wire instructions for their bank, and the title company will wire their funds to them. The seller should bring all keys, garage door openers, pool keys, etc. to the closing, or what I like to do is just have them leave them in a drawer in the kitchen, and then we'll just give you a key to the front door, and you can go from there. That's it. All closed. Sellers have sold. The buyers have bought. All is finally right in the world. It is a great day for everyone. You want to get top dollar for your property or business? Call or text us today at 386-866-1006.